start with.
So you would say one of your videos usually takes like a month of research?
These days, yeah, usually about a month. Like I'm trying to speed that up at the moment, but the videos just keep getting longer and longer. But like that's the thing, it's like we were just saying, it's kind of like the news versus the history. I think with my approach, I just have to take like a lot of time to go over things that have happened and just like try and really get to the root of like what's gone on. But man, I mean, I'm plugged into like what Flacco and Aka posting constantly, bro. I'm just eating up hip hop news constantly.
So same.
I'm plugged in.
Wait, so if you're taking a month to like research topics, are you like doing like 5 days a week, 4 days a week, or 7 days a week at like this amount of hours? So like, how many hours a day are you putting into if you're doing a month of research?
Man, to be honest, bro, it really depends. But like sometimes I can just be working like all day, every day. If it's a serious story that's like long and I'm getting super into it, I'm gonna just go 7 days. Just whenever I'm awake and I got spare time, I'll just be working, researching. But then also like now I got a few more people working for me. It's almost like I got to spend time like managing the team, like doing business stuff, a lot of like admin, just like managing what goes on, managing the channel, and like
I see.
There's a lot that goes into it. But man, I'm a workaholic. I just love working. I love researching these stories, and like
so
it's a blessing.
If you had like a 5 hour, if you're going to interview make a video about some person, and you had like a 5 hour interview to get through, would you send it to one of your workers and be like, hey man,
whatever,
go through this 5 hours of stuff and tell me the most important information in this whole thing?
That I do, like that's a new thing to me. Like I only got a researcher like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now.
That's what it's called, researcher.
I'm kind of blessed that I can do that. Like I've been doing this big Mo3 story, and it's just like I've been watching hours and hours of interviews with like all Mo3, all people in the Dallas rap scene. But like every now and then, like another interview pops up, or even with this, like a lot of there's been a lot of like recent interviews with people coming out, and it's like, damn, 2 hour interview just drops. Don't quite have time for this right now. Send it to my guy Sam to have a look through. But up until recently, man, I'd just be watching. If there was a 5 hour interview to be watched, I'd be sat there watching it, like going in, maybe at double speed. You know what I'm saying? There's a little hack for the it's just like anything that you can do to save time, if that's what you're doing, like a 5 hour interview, watching on double speed with the subtitles, like that's a little superpower.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%. I didn't realize that like people actually did that until I started watching. Until I saw a couple of PewDiePie videos where he was reacting to shit, and I realized that he reacts to stuff at 2-3 times speed. I'm like, that makes fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to sit there and just be like waiting for all the like I don't know, like all the little dull moments and stuff like that. But do you ever feel like because you're so knowledgeable on like hip hop news and certain artists or whatever, like you would notice certain things in an interview or think of certain questions from watching the interview that other people would not notice, and you kind of putting the faith in them that like I hope he doesn't skip over or like overhear some like really important piece of information and come back to me with like Mo3 likes the color blue instead of like some deep cut Mo3 fucking thing.
It's a really good point. That is actually an issue we've kind of had, and I think I'm learning a lot through working with somebody in this way. Like my process is definitely getting better, and I think what I've learned is it's like there's no way that I can just be like, yo, go and watch all the Mo3 interviews and just write the whole thing for me and don't miss anything. That's really just not possible. So I guess my process more recently has almost been like, I'll get a story started, I'll maybe watch like some of the key interviews, songs, albums, whatever that I think are like really important, and then once it gets to that point where it's like I kind of know what the story is, like I've built the structure of the story, but there might be 50 hours of interviews to watch.
Jeez.
I've been splitting that up, like making a list for my team or for my researcher to just be like, yo, here's like 10 interviews for you to go and watch. Like, here's kind of what we're looking for. Like, here are the key angles. But it's like, without that guidance, I think it just would be, it would be really hard. So it's almost like I'm kind of keeping track. I'm like keeping control of the research process. But like someone is kind of looking for things for me.